guys, Megs Braap here. As requested, I've gone ahead and done a video on tips and tricks for short riders. I hope you enjoy it. Tip number 1, work on your balance. The hardest part about dirt biking as a short person is not being able to touch the ground. So if you can better your balance, your life is going to be a whole lot easier in the more technical terrain because you're not going to need to touch the ground. So the best way to better your balance is to practice your really low speed stuff. Practice going really slow without touching the ground. You can do this in the form of a figure 8. You can do this in the form of a static balance. Or even in the really tight trees. Tip number 2. Always scope out your line and look for higher ground to put your feet on if you have to. This applies in the really technical terrain. So like big boulders and rocks, stuff like that. I'll actually look ahead and search for certain rocks where I can plant a foot if I need to. Even for regular terrain, it's nice to pull up to a stump or a rock or some sort of higher ground when you're coming to a stop. It just makes things easier. All right, so ideally, you want your bike to always do all the work, but if you are in a position where you need to muscle your bike to readjust or move it around, this is how I would do it. Tip number 3, use your legs rather than your upper body. So if you're shorter, again, like myself, you may not have as much leverage as some people. So without using my legs, I can't physically lift my bike off the ground without going on my tippy toes. So what I like to do is I use my leg. My legs are way stronger than my arms, and it helps out a lot. So I rest the bike on my leg, and I can lift it quite high off the ground. Tip number 4, how to dab if you absolutely must. So sometimes you simply have to touch the ground. We all do it. I'm gonna show you guys a method of touching the ground if your legs aren't long enough to touch. So as you guys can see, both my feet are a few inches off the ground when I'm sitting on the seat. In order to touch the ground, I need to side slip off the side of the bike. When you're riding in the trails, sometimes the ground is even lower, so you got ruts, you got holes. Sometimes that means side slipping way off like this. If you have to, do it. I mean, you may pull a muscle in the process, but side slipping like this on the trail is no big deal. Sometimes you just have to. So tip number 5 is a really important one, and that is have confidence. Don't let your size or the size of the bike deter you from becoming a better rider. Anything can be done no matter what your size. It just takes practice and lots of work. So the top riders are rarely touching the ground anyways. You don't need to be able to touch the ground to be a great rider. It just makes the learning process more difficult. So work at it, practice, get lots of time on the bike. Balance is huge, and with time, you can become an amazing rider no matter what your size. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this information helps you better your riding. If you want to check out more tutorials, click the link above. And if you'd like to support what I'm doing and sign up as a patron, click the link below. Thank you.